Hello and welcome back to my channel, Php Technologies. Today we are going to be treating PHP sessions, how to create sessions in PHP. And what we are going to be doing, we are going to be creating two forms. One will be a form that creates the username and password dynamically and inserting to the database, and the other one will be the form that picks from the database and use it to access the application. And once we are not using the created username and password, we will not be able to access the application. So let's get started. Now, first thing first, I use XAMPP. So if you are using PHP, said I use XAMPP, WAMP, and so many of the amps out there. So now that I'm using, I want to now go to the database to create a database table. We're going to be creating a simple username and password. So I come here now. I create what I want to create the database table. So I come here and I create a new table here. I create the call, and I call the table let's see, I just call the table sessions. And sessions with an S, because I already have a session here. Session with an S, and I say create. Then I now create this one, my table. I create my table here, and we are going to just be having the ID, the username and password, 3 columns, but we have 4 here, and I make it 3, and I say what this. Then I come here and I give it an ID like this. Then I give it 50. Then this is auto increment, and it will create it as a primary key. Then I come here, I give it a username, and I give it a varchar, and I give it 255. I come here, I give it a password, I give it here also a varchar, and I give it 255. Once I do that here, I now say what? I say save. Now it has been saved. I go to the browse here, I check the browse, and I can see that my ID, username and password has been created. So for now we are through with the database. Then I come here now, the VS Code. Now whatever we want to do, if we're working with PHP and XAMPP or WAMP, we have to go, for XAMPP we have to go to the htdocs to create the folder that you want to use in working. So I navigate I navigate to the htdocs, which I go through my PC. Then I come to my C drive here. Inside my C drive, I go to my XAMPP. Here. I go to my htdocs here. Then I create my folder here. Let's say I also give it sessions, SESSIONS, sessions like this. With an S, I have sessions with an S, and I have sessions just without an S. Then I come and I close this. Then I go to my VS Code, you open a new workspace. Then I now locate to go and call that by session folder that I created. I come here, I say add folder to workspace. I do this. Then I now go to my PC. Inside my PC, I go to my C drive. From my C drive, I locate my XAMPP here, Then from my XAMPP, I locate my htdocs, and I look for the session. Coming back, I'm sorry, I look for sessions. This is one I created with an S, and I add it. Now I have added it now to my workspaces there. Now when you work with PHP, it is ideal and professional for you to create your collection outside your files. Your collection file should be different from your other files. So first of all, we have to connect to the database, and that's why we create our connection file. So I highlight the sessions and I create a file. I call it connection.php. It must have a PHP extension. Once I create connection.php, then I come here now and I begin to I create the PHP working environment. How do you do that? by calling your PHP. Now I have created a PHP working environment. Now inside this working environment, I now begin to what? Create my connection. And I create my connection by creating variables and linking them. And I say $server name like this, and I do like, and I call it localhost like this, and I say $username, and I call it root. That's my default. That's the default username, and I'll say $server name, username, password. I do this, and I call it. I do not have a password because for now, and I say DB name. DB name, or I say sessions, SESSIONS. Then I now come and I'll create another variable $com, and I say my SQLI underscore connect like this, and I'll say $server name. I call it $username. I call it $password, and I call the DB name with a semicolon at the end. Please always be careful for that. Then I now call the if statement, and that's if $com, say echo connected. The reason why I use this connected, some people don't like using it, it's just so that I'm going to train. I'm doing a tutorial so that we'll know that we have connected to the database. And I say else echo field. So now let's go and call our path. How do we call our path? You come here, you call the local host, then your session with an S, and your connection.php. Connection.php. Now we are connected to the database. Now, so now we can move on. So from here now we have created our connection. The next thing now, I told you we'll be creating two forms. One of the forms is going to be a form that will assist us in creating our username and password, and the other one is going to be, we are going to use it to retrieve our username and password, so that we'll be able to use it to access our application. What we are trying to do here is creating sessions in PHP. I want it to be a little bit professional, or if I would have just gone straight to the database and inserted the username and password manually, but I want it to be at least more professional, that so that by the time you begin to work on it, you'll be able to understand what we do. So now from here now we create another file and call it post.php. Inside this post.php, we'll be using two things. We'll be using both our HTML document to design our form, and also we'll be using our PHP to be able to post to the database. So first of all, we'll create our PHP environment, and you do this. This is the PHP environment. Then you create your HTML environment. Now these are the two environments we'll be working with, the HTML and the PHP. So first of all, let's come and let's build our table. Let's build our table. So now I come here. Another thing again, for our styling for the table, we are going to be using the standard styling. So let us create our CSS folder first of all. Then in the CSS folder we'll create our style.css. Once we have done our style.css, you come here and just always link it immediately so that you will not forget. Link in SRL to style sheet. Now style sheet, then you now say type. You now go inside and now do text /css. Then you go here after style sheet, type that you now do your href, and you do your equal to. Inside your href you now call your part css, then style.css, then your style.css. Now we are good. Now let us come and quickly build our table, and now center. We are building our table. I like using this center just to, and I'll come and I say div, close our div like this, and I'll say our form, close our form like this. Then I come and give our div again. I give our div again. Then now inside now I now create our use our element to create our as an input type. Is going to be text. Then name. This name is very important when we are dealing with the database. It's going to be the exact name that we have in the database. Let's say username, and then now say placeholder. You now say enter. Let's say enter username like this with your big arrow and your HR. Now you come on the, just to make it, you do this, Control C, Control V, and here for the password put your password, and for the name you put password. That's what we have in the database. And for the placeholder you want this one to show the password. And for here now for the type now we now put your submit MIT. Now this name is always very important. This is what we're going to use in the if set. If is set, I say submit, and I now place the placeholder here, and I say value. Now say, let's say enter. Enter information. I want to make this required, and I come here to I make this one required. This required is just the first step of form validation that we're going to be using. Then let me just quickly do the styling. For me to do the styling, I have to come and give this ID, this div an ID. As I give it demo, and I say save, and I come here to styling. Since it's an ID, I give it hash to call the styling, to add the styling. I now say color, background color. So I give it blue. I come here and I say width. I give it 500 px. I come and I I say BO border radius, say 10 px. I come and I give it box shadow, say 7 px, 5 px, 5 px. That's a black here. Then I come here, the transition, say all, I say 1 seconds. Then I come here, I give here again, and I say demo, but this time around I want to do a hover, then I say demo hover, then I do this, and I say the transform. I say come here, I say scale 1.1, and I do this. Now let me quickly go and come to my post to check it. Post. Whoa, it's that's the styling has not. Then I come to my post here. Text style sheet, CSS, sty style.css, and demo post, text href css style.css. We'll continue. I don't know why it has not picked it. We'll come and style it later. Demo, let me look at it, a link, rel style sheet, type text or css hr href dot style slash css. So let's continue. I'll check the styling by the time we are through. So now we have done the styling. Let us quickly go and do the linking, the PHP. I come, first of all, I want to do something here. We have to include our connection file like this, and I say connection.php, include connection.php, sorry. So we'll do this. Then when we include the connection.php, the next thing we'll do now, we'll call our if set. If is set like this, $_post like this, curly braces. Then I now say $username equals $_post the username. You do this, then do for that for the password, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, $_password. Then you put your password here. Then now you now come and you call your query. You do your query, $query, and now come and now say insert into backtick. Now we want to check the table we created, so that we'll have to be very sure of the table we created. We created sessions and my table. So you come here and now say go in and say my table, create sessions on my table, then you give your open and close here, and inside here you have what your username and what here your password. I now say value with an S. You do this. I now say dollar username. Come here. I now say dollar. Now say your dollar password. Your dollar password, and you do this. Then now you run your query, dollar result. You run the query and say my SQLi underscore connect, sorry, underscore query, and you do this dollar $CONN and dollar query. Now this connects, this CONN is coming from our connection here, and what the query now is from this query. Then you do this. Immediately you do that. Now you now run your if, you do your if statement. If dollar result, that's if the query runs very well. If dollar result, you now do this. Echo posted, else you what echo, say not posted. And now you do this. So now everything is okay. Let's go and check. I come here, I do this. I say one unidentified key, username and password in 6, and username and password in 7. Post 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Username, password. Submit PS password. If you said sorry, I see what the issue is. SUBMIT. This submit here, we did not, this is the submit here, the submit name, we did not bring it up here. So that was a good mistake. It was a very bad mistake. So I now do this now. So is that connected now? So if I come here now and I say add MIN, I'll create another one, add MIN admin, and I say send information. It is sending the information here, yes. It's still sending it to the URL. So we have to come here and our form action. Our form action is, let's just put hash here first of all and say method, and I'll say post. To say post, and then I'll say save. Then I come here, I do this. Let's say I do admin. Now I say Austin, and I come and I say Austin, and I say send information. You can see posted. So I come here now, I do this. You can see Austin. Now I want to remove this one. It was the first one that I did. Then I now come to my table. So now I have Austin. Now I want to add another one again. to be very sure. I want to add the admin again. Add admin, posted. I come here and I do this, and I say admin posted. So now we can continue. We'll come back to the styling. Now we have created a form that dynamically submits into the database. Now we want to begin our session. So first thing first, now there are some we create remove the styling, remove this. Now we create some other files. The first file we are going to be creating again is going to be our login portal. So I come here and I say login login.php. I do that. I come again and now say our maybe we call it, let's say we'll call it application.php. You come here and now say application.php. We'll do that. Then now we create our logout. We create our logout.php. Logout.php. We are doing a login and logout form using session now. Now we have done all those ones now. Now the next thing for us to do, now we come to this our login form. Now we want to create a login form where we can go and retrieve and connect to our system. Now what is the it's going to be the same form as the post form. So what we'll just do now for our HTML, we'll just come here and we copy this one just to make it fast. We come here and just copy here. We just copy this. You copy this. So copy, and you do this, and you come to the login portal here. First of all, we create our PHP session. Then you come here and you do this Control V. Now once we've done that, we change. We come here and we put staff login portal. I come here, put as in H2. I come and I close it with H2. I come and I close it with H2. I do this, and for the post I come and I say this is just the H2 like this, and I come and I create say REA, create username and password. With username and password, I do this. So now for this one, now I don't want to write I say include connection connection.php. Then I come here and I'll say if is set. If is set $_p_post $_post, and now say $_post, and now say what username, that's what we'll be calling. $_call the username like this, and we'll do this. I say what $_username equals $_post the post. I'll say what username, and that's a dollar underscore password. That's equals to dollar underscore post, and that's what, sorry, password, and I now do this. I write the query. I'll write a query, dollar query, and also select. Since we are selecting our username and password from the database, select star from my table. Select star from my table. Where username equals to single double dot dollar username and password equals single double dollar password. And I now put what limit 1, and I go and I do this. So let me check whether everything is going on smooth. Yes. Dollar password, where username I'm coming. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Where username I'm coming. And password equals dollar password. Yes. So now I think I'm good to go now. So the next thing now, we'll run our query. Say that we have run our query, now run our result. Dollar result equal to my SQLi underscore query underscore query, and to this I now say $con and query like this. Then our if my SQLi underscore num underscore rows to this, I say 1, then you now come and do your curly braces like this. Now call our session, that's a dollar underscore $_session is also a global variable like this. I now say here now you can use any what depends on what you are doing. Now I come here and I say I say user, and I say equal to what, if equal to $_post user name. Now what have I done here? Now I said if our session as a user is equals to what our username, then do this header like this, and just do this. Say location, go to this location, application .php like this, else so you go to header, I do this and I say what location .l, I say go to the login, just say our login .php. I do this, put this question mark, and I say invalid, and I say what please enter CORR, is it correct user name and password. I do this because I want I begin to start a little bit of form validation. Then I come here, I do this, and I say enter. Now it is giving me an error here. It is giving me an error. Where is the error coming from? Select star from my table where username equals to dot user and password equals to password is equals to password. And password. Okay, I think I've seen where the error is. You have to be very careful when you're dealing with all this. Now it is okay. Now I want this to appear. Please enter a correct username, but it's just a form validation. So now I come to what when I now go to what where I'm building this, and I now do this. Since I want it to appear, I come here and I do this. And now I say I create my PHP. I come and I create another PHP again. I create another PHP again. So in between here now, It's just a trick that I normally use. I now write my div like this, and I close it with my PHP. I now say EC echo like this, dollar underscore get. I do this, and I do this. I say invalid like this, and I now close it with my div like this. Then in here I do an open tag, then out here, sorry, not here, in here like this, I do my open tag, then here I do my closing tag with an if statement saying if hash dollar underscore get like this, invalid t equals true, and I do this, I do this, and this one is going to be close like this. So now we are set to go. And now let's go and look at our login form. Localhost, login.php, login session, sorry, it's going to be sessions. Now this is our login form, our login portal. So now we have to admin. If I put admin here now, add min, and I put this one, let's see what will happen. I do this, it is saying line 14, uncut argument MySQL line 14, line 14, line 14 here. If my, let me read it again. MySQL underscore roles, incoming, line 14, MySQL underscore numbers underscore roles. Sorry, I'm supposed to put what result here. I'm supposed to put my result here, and I'll say this. Now let's go and check it. Now you can say please enter correct username and password, because I have not entered the correct username and password. This is just what form validation. Then the next step we have done now, after this form validation, we now go to what my go to my application. We go to my application. Here in my application, now we now begin to what session start. But before we go to my application, there must be something that we must do here. We must what start our session. Here in our login form, we have not started our session, so we must start our session here now. And how do you start your session? Say session 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 underscore start. So now we have started our session here like this. Now we have started our session here. So now we'll now say Control S. Then we'll now go to our application where we want to now build our session again. So now here in our application, we come here now, and we'll now first of all do our PHP environment. Inside our PHP environment, we come and we'll now say session start. Session underscore start. You do this. Then now include do our if statement. If is set, and you do this, and you now say dollar underscore session. You know this is also global variable. This is it here, dollar underscore session. We'll now do this. Now we're calling our user. Where is this user coming from? Remember here in our login we did what user. This is where the user is coming from. So you now come here and you now say now dollar underscore user. If you set dollar underscore session user, we do our curly braces, do our curly, and now say echo that what we just want to echo welcome. Let's also say welcome dot. No, we are welcoming the person that is, or whoever, the person that has logged into the session. That's a dollar underscore session user you say dot. Just put our PR there. I'll put our, then you now say echo. We do say login logout form, and you now do this here. You now say we put our href href like this. Inside it now say logout. We say logout dot php, and you do this, and you see logout. Then you do this, and now say what our logout. If you do this, then you see else is now say header location say dot login. I say login dot php. You do this and you say Control S. So now we have done this. Now we'll now finally go for our logout. When somebody logs out, the person, if person cannot use the session again, person cannot have access to the application. For you to have access to the application, that means you have to now go and do a relogin. That is what we are trying to achieve here now. So now you now come here. And you create our PHP. Create our PHP here, and as a session start again. Session underscore session start again. And you do this. Then now say if we set dollar underscore get log out, then we do this session. We have to now destroy the session, because once you log out, the session must be destroyed. Session underscore destroy. Now the session has been destroyed. Then you now go header location. No, I want us to remain at what? The login.php. So we'll come and put our semicolon. Yeah, we'll go to application, login.php. Now everything seems to be okay. So we'll come here now. Now I put come here, I put add. No, this I don't put anything. It's just a form validation. If I click enter, it's saying what? Please fill out the fields. So now I put the correct username, admin. I do this. It's where I say welcome admin. It's welcoming me as the admin. If I say log out, that I have logged out. Now if I come here now and I want to now access the application, I say application.php. I'm not able to access the application because I've already logged out of the session. For me to be able to access the application again, I have to come here and do what? And log in. So if I come here and add admin and I use the wrong username and password, if I do this, you say please enter correct username and password. If I put the correct username and password, say admin, and I say what? Enter. It logs me in. Now once I log out like this and I come here now and I want to go back to the application.php page, I say application.php. It will not take me to the application. What I will remain on what? On the staff login portal, because that is what we have created. We have created a login and logout session, which is now once you are logged into the session, you can browse the application, do whatever you want to do. But once you log out into the out of the application, you will not be able to go back into the application through the URL, except what? You come and we log in again. Let me do it again. Now this is it here. Now if there is no username like this and no password like this is the first step of validation. I do this. It's saying please fill out these fields. Now if I put a wrong username, if I put the right username and a wrong password, maybe I put this wasn't, and I now say what to, it's saying please enter correct username and password. Now if I now put a correct username and password, I say admin, and I come here and I say admin. He has allowed me to go into the application. Then if I come here and now say log out, if I go to the URL, this is security, and I want to try to access the application.php. If I do this, it will not allow me go into the application because I have logged out. So I have to come and log in again with my username and password. This is a simple form of validation. Now security is a simple form of validation. Now for us to be able to, I want us to style the forms that we did. It was actually giving issues from the external styling that I tried to use. So now let me use an inline styling, and I'll say style styling. I do this, and I now come and I say what do I want to say here? And I'll say background color. I see the GRAY gray. I see width like this 600 px. Border radius I see 10 px mpx, and I now see box shadow I now see 7 px 5 px black. I now see this. Control S. So now let me go and check the login form. This is our login form. This is it here. We've done the styling. Now let me do for the same thing for what the registration form, but I'll have to copy the same styling. I do Control C. I come here for this here. I do Control V. Then I now come and I put I change this one from gray to, let's say, brown. I do this now, so we are all good now. So now this is what we want to achieve: a simple login and log out. That when you want to access an application and you are not going through the right channel, you will not be able to use that application. So now I demonstrate it again. First of all, if there is no username and password, this is the first step of security, and I do this. He said I should fill out the spaces. I now fill out a wrong information at MIN, and I now come here and I put something, a wrong admin, and I now do this. The next is say please enter correct username and password. Now once I do this and I now put the correct username and password, admin, and I come here, I do admin, and I do this. Say please enter academy. I put admin at MIN like this, and I put admin, admin, and I do this. It has logged me into the application. I can do whatever I want to do. Or once I log out now and I want to access the application through the back door, and I come here and I do application .php, and I do this. So this there's a wrong spelling. I come and I say application.php, and I do this. It will not allow me into the application. Once I come here, if I come here again, I say application.php, and I do this. It will not allow me into the application because I'm trying to go through the back door. I have to come through the right door. So this is a simple login security for that we use for PHP. Is a very first step and fundamental, and also a very good way of securing your application, so people cannot just delve into your application. Once anybody that wants to go into your application, you know who is going into your application, because they will you go and register their username and password. Now for the full demonstration, I created another portal, localhost. Inside the localhost, I created post like this, and I come the session is with an S. I created something like this. Now this is what create username and password. Create username and password. I can come here and create a username. Let's say I create a username and I call it LIFA life, and I come here again and I create a password, LIFA life, and I say enter. It said it has. If I go here now if I come here and I do here, you can see that it has created life. That is what the dynamic way of what creating it of username and password. Then you now come here now, which is what the staff login, and I now type live. IFE live. I come here and I type what? LIFE live, and I do this. I say enter information. You can see that it has brought me to the application now. I can do whatsoever I want to do. When I now log out, you can see that we are in what application.php. When I now log out like this now, and I want to now access the application again, I cannot go through the back door. Say maybe app application, I cannot go through the back door. It will not allow me in. It will redirect me back to my login portal. The only way I can access the application is for me to what come and what sign in, log in again, sign in again, for me to be able to, if I say LIFE live like this again, and I come and I say LIFE live, and I say enter, that is the only way I can access the application. Now I have to log out again for me to. So now this is a simple security using session in PHP. Thank you very much for listening to the tutorials. I would urge you that if you have not subscribed, please go to our channel, watch all the videos that we have there, subscribe to our channel, so that when there's any new video, it will hit your social media, and you'll be able to go through the video. And please, I would like you to make comments and also like the videos. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.